Welcome back to my YouTube channel Coin Secrets. Imagine reaching into your pocket, pulling out a regular quarter, and realizing you're holding $500,000. Sounds impossible, right? But what if I told you that a single 1982p Washington quarter dollar recently shocked collectors with a market value of $576,000? Yes, that little coin you've overlooked could be the ticket to the wealthy lifestyle you've been dreaming of. But hey, before you rush to check your couch cushions, let's make sure you don't accidentally give your fortune away to the vending machine, because trust me, that soda isn't worth $576,000. This coin isn't just rare. It carries with it a story of history, mistakes at the US Mint, and the kind of scarcity that fuels bidding wars among elite collectors. And tonight, I'll take you deep inside that story, because who knows, your financial breakthrough could already be sitting inside your change jar. But what makes this quarter so different from the billions of others struck in 1982? And why are collectors fighting tooth and nail to own it? The answers might surprise you. Let's rewind. The year is 1982, a turbulent time for US coinage. Inflation, rising costs, and transitions in the mint's production made this year especially unusual. For quarters, 1982 was pivotal. The mint in Philadelphia, represented by the small letter P, produced millions of quarters, but within that enormous run, something went very, very wrong. A handful of these coins left the presses with striking anomalies, errors so subtle that only the trained eye can catch them. Missing details, doubling in the design, off-metal strikes, and sometimes even planchets not meant for quarters. And that's where opportunity hides. Because mistakes, in the world of numismatics, are worth fortunes. Think about it, most of us panic when we make mistakes at work. But the US Mint? Their mistakes can turn everyday coins into six-figure treasures. Makes you wish your boss saw your errors the same way, doesn't it? Now, here's where it gets fascinating. While common 1982p quarters are still worth just 25 cents, a tiny subset of rare errors from this year have skyrocketed in value. The recorded sale price, $576,000, came from one of these elite rarities. Collectors fought tooth and nail at auction, pushing the price higher and higher, until it closed at a number that could change anyone's life. But what exactly should you look for in your coins? What are the telltale signs that separate a life-changing fortune from spare change? Let's unlock that mystery. When you're holding a 1982p Washington quarter, the first thing to do is check the details under magnification. Look at the date, some quarters show doubling on the numbers. Examine the word Liberty and In God We Trust. Errors often reveal themselves in the smallest of places. And of course, weigh the coin. Some rare quarters from 1982 were accidentally struck on planchets meant for other denominations. If your coin feels lighter or heavier than normal, you may just be holding a jackpot. But here's the catch, you must act fast. Collectors are hungry for these coins, and markets shift quickly. That quarter sitting in your drawer could lose its shine, not because it's less rare, but because you didn't take action while demand was at its peak. Be honest, would you rather let your rare coin sit in a dusty jar, or cash it in for a new home, luxury travel, or even a retirement fund that sets you free? Remember, history favors the bold. That 1982p quarter represents more than money. It's proof that treasures hide in plain sight, waiting for those with the knowledge and courage to uncover them. So, before you spend another coin, stop and ask yourself, could this be the one that changes everything? Because for one lucky collector, it already has. This is more than coin collecting. This is wealth discovery. If you enjoyed uncovering the secrets of the 1982p Washington quarter, stay tuned, because the next coin we reveal might just be the one that turns you into the next numismatic millionaire. Imagine finding a simple 1988 Washington quarter in your change, a coin so ordinary, most people wouldn't give it a second glance. But what if I told you that one rare version of this very coin recently fetched an astonishing $476,000 at auction? Yes, a quarter you could easily mistake for pocket change, worth nearly $500,000. Now let me ask you, what would you do if a small coin hiding in your kitchen drawer had the power to completely change your financial destiny? Stay with me, because in the next 10 minutes, we'll uncover the hidden history, the exact details that make this coin so extraordinary, and most importantly, how you could recognize one before it slips through your fingers forever. To understand why the 1988 D Washington quarter holds such unimaginable value, we first need to revisit the late 1980s, an era when the US Mint was producing billions of coins each year. Most of these quarters were destined for everyday transactions, gas stations, vending machines, grocery store counters, but here's where the story takes a dramatic turn. Among the billions struck, a tiny handful left the Denver Mint with rare errors, imperfections so scarce they transformed a common coin into a priceless treasure. And no, I'm not talking about the kind of error where your uncle drops his burger on the coin before paying for lunch. We're talking about authentic minting flaws, errors that collectors would sell their soul for. The fear here is real. Millions of Americans have unknowingly spent these rare error coins over the past 3 decades, handing over fortunes disguised as 25 cents. That could mean someone, maybe even you, has already lost $500,000 without ever realizing it. So, what makes the 1988 D quarter worth $476,000? The answer lies in its unique minting error and pristine condition. Some examples show misstrikes, off-center images, or even double-die errors where details like the lettering or Washington's profile appear doubled. Others have been preserved in such flawless, untouched condition that professional grading services classify them as mint state 68 or higher, a rarity almost impossible to achieve. Here's the reality: collectors aren't just buying a coin. They're buying history, rarity, and the prestige of owning what others can only dream of. And yet, here's the shocking part: even seasoned coin hunters often miss the subtle signs that separate a 25-cent quarter from one worth nearly $500,000. The difference can be invisible unless you know exactly what to look for. Here's what you must examine if you think you've struck gold: at the tiny D under the date, verify its size, shape, and placement. Sharp edges, defined hairlines, and crisp lettering indicate a higher grade. Doubling, off-centering, or unusual finishes dramatically increase value. A coin with no scratches, no wear, and no fingerprints is where the real money lies. Now let me ask you, when was the last time you actually looked closely at a quarter? Be honest, probably never. We've all been guilty of tossing coins into jars without a second glance. But what if that jar is your retirement fund in disguise? The 1988 D Washington quarter is not just metal. It is a symbol, a reminder that wealth often hides in the most unexpected places. For years, ordinary Americans have overlooked these treasures, but today, you hold the knowledge to transform curiosity into opportunity. Here's the urgency: rare coins like this aren't just valuable, they're becoming harder to find every single day. With every passing year, more are lost, damaged, or locked away in private collections. The window to discover one is closing fast. And imagine this: what if the next quarter you find in your change purse is the one? Would you recognize it? Or would you spend it without a second thought? Take action. Start searching your coin jars, your wallets, and those forgotten drawers. Educate yourself, because fortune doesn't wait, it rewards those who are prepared. Remember, financial freedom is not always found in the stock market, in real estate, or in some risky investment. Sometimes, it's sitting quietly in the palm of your hand, waiting for you to see its true worth. So the next time you hold a 1988 D Washington quarter, look closely. Because it might just be the key to your millionaire lifestyle. Imagine walking into your local grocery store. You hand over a quarter, just 25 cents. But what if I told you that exact coin could have paid for a luxury mansion, a dream car, or even your retirement? Yes, a single 1971 D Washington quarter dollar, a coin most people overlook every single day, has sold for an astonishing $576,000. Let that sink in. You may have one sitting in your pocket right now. Before you rush to check, stay with me, because in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you how this everyday coin transformed from pocket change into a millionaire's dream. But beware, most people who think they have a fortune in their hands don't. And the mistakes they make could cost them millions. The 1971 D Washington quarter was struck at the Denver Mint. Tens of millions were made. To the average eye, they're ordinary, unremarkable, forgettable, but here's the twist: a rare combination of errors, minting conditions, and pristine preservation makes certain 1971 D quarters worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Think of it like real estate. Two houses on the same street may look identical, but one sells $4,200,000, while the other fetches $2 million, because of location, rarity, and condition. Coins are no different. And let's be honest, how many of us check our quarters before dropping them into a vending machine? Most of us are too busy arguing with the machine when it doesn't give us our Snickers bar. Now, let's get to the million-dollar question: what makes the 1971 D quarter so valuable? First, mint errors. Some quarters were struck off-center, some had doubled dies, and a few were even produced on the wrong planchet, a different metal disc. These errors are like fingerprints, unique, rare, and highly prized by collectors. Second, condition. A coin graded mint state 67 or higher, flawless under magnification, is like a diamond with perfect clarity. These are the coins that make headlines and change lives. Third, demand. Wealthy collectors will pay extraordinary prices to secure the crown jewel of their collection. And when two millionaires compete at auction? That's when quarters suddenly hit six-figure territory. But here's the catch: most people who stumble across a 1971 D quarter never realize what they truly have until it's far too late. Imagine finding that coin, but cleaning it with a rag, thinking you're helping. In reality, you just destroyed thousands of dollars in value. Or worse, spending it at a gas station, never knowing you handed away $500,000 for a gallon of milk. And let's be honest, milk isn't even cheap anymore. But would you trade $576,000 for it? I didn't think so. The truth is, coins like the 1971 D Washington quarter prove something extraordinary: wealth isn't always locked in stocks, real estate, or Wall Street secrets. Sometimes, it's hidden right in the palm of your hand. So, how do you protect yourself from missing out? Check your change carefully. Look for 1971 D quarters with crisp details, unusual designs, or errors. Never clean your coins. Preserve their natural state. Cleaning erases value. Get professional grading. Services like PCGS or NGC can authenticate your treasure, and that certification can add zeros to your coin's worth. And here's the most powerful step: act now. The market for rare coins is surging, fueled by collectors who see them not just as artifacts, but as investments. Because one day, you might look at a quarter in your hand and realize you're holding not 25 cents, but $500,000. The 1971 D Washington quarter dollar is more than just change, it's a symbol of hidden fortune, a reminder that opportunity often hides in plain sight. So I ask you, when you look at your coins, will you see pocket change, or the key to a wealthy lifestyle? The answer could change your life forever. Don't let the next fortune slip through your fingers. Start checking today. And if you're ready to unlock more secrets of rare US coins worth millions, make sure to subscribe, because what I'm about to reveal in the next video is even more shocking than this quarter.